18-year-old Lester Piggott, surely one of the youngest jockeys ever to win the Derby.
1954, this is the stage for Lester Piggott's first major win. Little did the crowd know, it was his setup for an extraordinary glittering racing career that lasted nearly half a century. Fans often joke that he knew how to ride before he could walk. As a youngster from a horse racing family that stretched back over 6 generations, this was what Lester Piggott seemed destined to do.
Done it again. An all-time record, the 7th Derby win for Lester Piggott.
Nicknamed the Longfellow because at 5'8", Piggott stood taller than your average jockey. His racing stats are frankly staggering. He was championship jockey 11 times between 1960 and 1982 and won the Derby a record-breaking 9 times.
It's a horrible cliche, but it is the end of an era. Lester Piggott, for the height of his career, he was racing. When somebody is known just by their first name, like Tiger in golf or Frankie in racing, you know they've achieved a huge status. 60s and 70s, I think it's arguable that Lester Piggott was the most famous sportsman in Britain, perhaps only rivalled by Bobby Charlton. He was a huge figure.
But after success came the fall from grace.
Dozens of photographers surged forward as he was hustled inside.
He was jailed for tax fraud in 1987 and spent a year and a day in prison. He was also stripped of his OBE. Lester Piggott didn't stay down for long. After his release, there was the comeback. In total, he had nearly 4,500 career wins. He rarely gave interviews, and when he didn't give much away. This was said to be because of deafness in one ear and a minor speech impediment.
I have to be hoping for the best, you know.
What would it mean to you to win a 10th Derby?
Well, it'd be terrific, you know. Be out of the world, you know.
Fellow racing greats have been paying tribute today. Frankie Dettori simply posted, "The greatest of all time, my hero, rest in peace, my friend." There have been so many tributes today, glowing tributes about your father. How does that make you feel?
Very, very emotional and very, very proud. I've always been extremely proud of my father. And, you know, people used to say he was, he was very serious and grumpy. And, you know, a lot of these top sports people are like that when they're in the zone, because I suppose you have to be. But he had a fantastic sense of humour.
And just finally, how will you be remembering him?
You know, when I saw him last week, he gave me one of his irresistible smiles, which just, they melt us all, those smiles that he'd give you every now and then when you least expected it. And just that twinkle in his eye, and I'll always remember that.